Hello, this is Bishop Garland Hunt. This is the Power of Hope devotional. Oh man, this is a great one. I love this particular topic that we're talking about because on one hand, it deals with what you're challenged with and challenges that you go through and how they have a spiritual benefit. Challenges that you go through and temptation and the spiritual benefit that you have. In James chapter 1, it says, when trouble comes your way, consider it an opportunity for joy. When trials and tribulations come your way, the trying of your faith works as patience. But count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations. Count it all joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance or your patience has a chance to grow. Your endurance, or King James says your patience, has an opportunity to grow. So that's what your challenges are, your opportunities for your patience to increase and for your endurance to grow. And it says, so let it grow. For when your endurance is fully developed, you may be perfect and complete, needing nothing. So God's waiting on you to increase your patience, increase your endurance. You cannot back down. He doesn't expect you to back down. But that's really not the main point of this devotional. What I want to go with, it says, those who patiently endure testing and temptation, afterwards they're going to receive a prize of a crown of life. That's been promised to you. But then it goes on further and says this, and you got to hear this. And remember, when you're being tempted, do not say, God tempted me. God is never tempting to do wrong. God is never tempting you to do wrong. He never tempts you. I want to be clear on that. God doesn't tempt you. He says, and he never tempts anyone else. Temptation comes, listen to this, you ready? From your own desires, which entice you and drag us away. Your own desires inside of you. There is this lustful, this is anger, there's the emotional desire that pulls you away from God and tempts you to evil. But the temptation comes from what's already inside of you. The temptation draws in, the enemy draws into what's already inside of you and draws you into his web. Temptation comes from your own desire and entice and drag us away. These desires give birth to sinful actions. These desires that are hiding out in your heart give birth to sinful action. When sin is allowed to grow, it gives birth to death. See, it's a spirit of death that comes as a result of giving into temptation. So let me be very clear. Don't ever say temptation is coming from God. God is tempting me. God is challenging me with sin. No, he's not putting you in a room. And if you say you stop smoking cigarettes, maybe you smoke cigarettes as God, as the man is smoking cigarettes and blow it in your mouth. Or you say, I'm going to stop smoking weed. And so everybody's around you smoking weed. And you say, well, wow, man, the God must be tempting me. Or everybody's drinking and you giving up alcohol. And so you around people that are drinking. And say, man, God's really tempting me to see if this thing is real. No. The temptation comes from what's already there. Your weed self, alcohol self, smoking self. Inside of that same desire, that's where the temptation is coming from. But you are God. The Bible says that he gives all men the challenge to be victorious. He says, I will do all things through Christ that strengthen me. See, he gives you, the Lord will always be with you. He'll always give you strength. Don't ever feel like you can have to give in to your desires and your lusts. No, you say no to those things. Say no to my desires. No to those things. And I will live for God at all costs. That's right. The God is not tempting you. It's the evil one using the desires of your inward heart to tempt you towards something that's already inside of you. This is Bishop Garland Hunt. This is the Power of Hope devotional. God never tempts you.